Hey everyone, it's Tats here again. Welcome back to another week of Kids Church Online. I hope you have all been staying safe and well. And even though we aren't able to meet together in person, I am very thankful to God that we are able to do Kids Church Online and have the technology to keep continuing to meet together virtually. I hope you've been enjoying it too. Coming up today, we're going to pray with Silas, read the Bible with Oakley, and then we'll have Tiana and Floyd try and figure out what it all means for us. After that, we'll finish up with a song with Dave Fitz. Let's get into it.
Hi, I'm Silas and I'll be praying for us today. Dear God, thank you for dying on the cross and taking away our sins. We thank you for being with us every day. Thank you also that we can meet through Kids Church Online and Virtual Song. God, we also ask to please make the coronavirus stop and keep people safe, especially the older people. Please fill us with love and kindness so people can come to know you.
Hi, Oakley here. I'm going to be reading the Bible for you today. I'm reading Matthew chapters 12, verses 1 to 21. At that time, Jesus went through the grain fields on the Sabbath. His disciples were hungry and began to pick some heads of grain and eat them. When the Pharisees saw this, they said to him, "Look, your disciples are doing what is unlawful on the Sabbath." He answered, "Haven't you read what David did when he and his companions were hungry? He entered the house of God, and he and his companions ate the consecrated bread, which was not lawful for them to do, but only for the priests. Or haven't you read in the law that the priests on Sabbath duty in the temple desecrate the Sabbath and are yet innocent? I tell you that something greater than the temple is here. If you had known what those words mean, I desire mercy, not sacrifice, you would not have condemned the innocent, for the Son of Man is Lord of the Sabbath." Going on from that place, he went into their synagogue, and a man with a shriveled hand was there, looking for a reason to bring charges against Jesus. They asked him, "Is it unlawful to heal on the Sabbath?" He said to them, "If any of you has a sheep and it falls into a pit on the Sabbath, will you not take hold of it and lift it out? How much more valuable is a person than a sheep? Therefore it is lawful to do good on the Sabbath." Then he said to the man, "Stretch out your hand." So he stretched it out, and it was completely restored, just as sound as the other. But the Pharisees went out and plotted how they might kill Jesus. Aware of this, Jesus withdrew from that place. A large crowd followed him, and he healed all who were ill. He warned them not to tell others about him. This was to fulfill what was spoken through the prophet Isaiah. "Here is my servant whom I have chosen, the one I love, in whom I delight. I will put my spirit on him, and he will proclaim justice to the nations, and he will not quarrel or cry out. No one will hear his voice in the streets. A bruised reed he will not break, and a smouldering wick he will not snuff out, till he has brought justice through to victory. In his name the nations will put their hope."
Hey Floyd, how are you?
Hey, Tiana, it's you. Yeah, never know who's going to connect. It's you, or it's AJ, or it's you, or it's AJ. Wow, it's really good to see you, though.
Oh, it's so great to see you as well. And I've been watching what you and AJ have got up to while I wasn't around. It seems like you've been learning so much from the book of Matthew.
Yeah, it's been really, really good. I'm learning so much. Last week, I thought that Jesus was talking to horses because he kept saying, "Woe to you, chosen, and woe to you, a different church or town or whatever it was." Thought he was trying to stop horses, but no, he wasn't. You know what he was doing? He was telling towns that they needed to change because they were in big trouble. Yeah, tell me, T, what are we talking about today?
Well, that sounds so good. Today we're going to be learning, we just heard we're in chapter 12, and they're talking about a day called the Sabbath. Now, Floyd, have you ever heard of that day before?
No, I have no idea what that is. It's really a strange word. Sabbath.
Yeah,
Sabbath.
well, yep, Floyd, it's a strange word. Well, it's a pretty important day. you know.
Is it like Christmas and Easter? Will we get presents or maybe Easter eggs? Or even better, chocolate coated Brussels sprouts?
Floyd,
I really, really love chocolate Brussels sprouts.
Floyd, I know, calm down. Look, it's not quite there. Not exactly, it's not Christmas or Easter. See, the Sabbath was a day of rest. It was also known as God's day. Typically, it would be on a Saturday. It comes from the start of the Bible. Remember when God created the world? If you remember, he created it in 6 days, and then on the 7th day, he rested. Anyway, during the times when things happened in the Bible, people weren't allowed to work on the Sabbath because they were to rest. And that was what the law said.
Oh, so that's a bit like we have the weekends. Well, some of us. I noticed that people still work on Saturday and Sunday here.
Yeah, that's right. So in the passage, Jesus' friends, they got in trouble from the Pharisees. Flo, do you remember who the Pharisees were? Remember they were like the priests and the teachers?
Like Dev and Chris. The top dudes in the coast, or the big Jesus.
Yeah, you're pretty similar. They were the teachers of the law from what we know as the Old Testament. But they didn't always see everything properly, you know. Sometimes they took things a little too far. So here, Jesus' friends, they picked up some grain out of the fields because they were hungry. And the Pharisees got angry because they were working or not following the law.
What? The priest thought that taking a few grains off the top of wheat was working? Wow, those dudes must have a real different view of working. You wouldn't even make a sweat doing that.
Well, yeah, but that's how they saw the law. So you see, Jesus then reminds the Pharisees of what is really written in the Bible and reminding them of what people have done in the past, like King David, who was one of the greatest kings to ever be in charge.
Oh, yeah, that's right. In the Bible, he said something about David and his mates going into the temple and eating. So what was Jesus actually saying to them, hey? Hey, what?
Well, Jesus told them that love is more important than the sacrifice of the Sabbath day.
You mean that it's more important to care and love for each other more than ignoring people who are hungry just because it's a special day?
Yeah, you see, Jesus shows us this, and guess what he does, Floyd?
What? Please tell me. I'm sure it's going to be so amazing.
It really is. You see, Jesus healed this man's hand. This man's hand hadn't been working for a very long time, and Jesus just told the man, stretch out his hand, and it was healed. And it was working again. How cool is that?
Wow, that is so cool. But what about the whatever that day is? I thought they weren't meant to do any work on that day. Oh, Jesus is in trouble. Really big trouble.
Oh, Floyd, you're right. They weren't meant to do any work, and he wasn't allowed to heal the man's hand. And the Pharisees, you know, they thought that they could catch him here. He would catch him out and punish him for what he's done. But this is where Jesus reminds them of the love and mercy that he gives. You see, because the Pharisees asked the same question. Isn't it against the law to heal this man's hand?
Ha! But he was too clever for them because he knows all.
That's right, Floyd. He does know all. But he also pointed out something else to them. You know, a lot of people were shepherds and they would care for their animals around this time because the sheep was where they got their food and their clothes from. So Jesus asked them the question, so if your sheep were hurt or stuck, what would you do? Would you help them? And obviously they would, because that's what they have to do. They are there to look after their sheep. And they wouldn't have got food or clothes if they didn't look after them properly. So he says, well, are people more valuable than sheep?
Ha! Got them again. Obvious that the sheep are more valuable than people. Just joking too.
Oh.
Obviously the people are more important.
Oh, that's it. Phew. I thought you were on the wrong way there, but you're right. People are more valuable. And Jesus shows his love to this man, because that's what he's come to do. Jesus come to show his love, and he shows his love by healing the man's hand.
But wouldn't the Pharisees, they would have been so mad.
You're right, Floyd. They were so mad. And they were so mad that they went to plan how to kill Jesus.
What? What? They wanted to kill him? No, that's not good.
No, it wasn't, Floyd. It really wasn't very good. And Jesus knew what they were thinking, of course, because he is Jesus. But you know what, Floyd? Jesus, he just kept on moving on. He left that area, he moved on, and a big crowd of people followed him. And something even more amazing happened. This big crowd followed him, and Jesus healed all the people who were sick there. And it was still the Sabbath. How amazing.
What you're saying, that even though people wanted to kill him, Jesus just left that place and carried on doing the right thing and healing lots of people.
Yeah, you're right. That's it. Jesus kept on going to show people his love. And that love, is still there from Jesus for us today.
Oh, that's a great story, T. Thanks for telling us it.
That's all right. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. And it's such a good reminder that Jesus shows his love to us even today.
Yeah, it really is. Oh,
all right. Well,
I'm really looking forward to next week.
I know, so am I. Well, why don't I leave it here and I'll see you next week.
Okay. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.
See ya.
We're going.
Oh, we started. Do you think they can hear us?
Maybe.
Play your clarinet, see if they can hear us. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Puddle doesn't like it. That's okay. Hi, Dave. Toby. We're going to do a song. Stop it. We're doing a song. It's called Proverbs 3, 5 and 6. Normally in this song there's a bit of whistling, but in this time there's going to be some clarinetting. Like that. And that. See? Puddle doesn't like it. She's just run out the back. Here we go. This is Proverbs 3, 5 and 6. Trust in the Lord. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him. He will make your paths straight. Go, Toby. Where's it from? Proverbs 3, 5 and 6. Good one. Let's do it again. Trust in the Lord. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him. He will make your path straight. Here goes him again. Where's it from? Proverbs 3, 5 and 6. Hey, good one.
Thanks so much for joining us this afternoon. Don't forget to ask your parents or carers to help you check out the Coaster UC website for more activities. Other than that, have a great week. I hope to see you soon. Bye.